Percussive Storytelling with Cory.
Hi, my name is Cory, and I love to tell stories with percussion instruments. Now, today's story is called John Henry, a very famous folktale from the United States around 1870. That's 150 years ago. Now, John Henry was a steel-driving man with a hammer for a hand. That's right, he had a superpower like THOR. Now, in the story, John Henry would lay the tracks for the trains, and in the end, he races against a machine to see who can lay the tracks faster. I think you know who wins. So enjoy John Henry and think about what your superpower might be. Thunder rumbled. The earth trembled. And the sky was as dark as coal the night John Henry was born. This boy is special, declared a proud father. He is strong and kind, beamed a proud mother. And in the dim light, John Henry did look special, for he was the strongest baby folks had ever seen. And when he lifted his arms, everyone gasped, for John Henry had been born with a hammer in his hand. By the time he was 6, John Henry was breaking up and carrying huge boulders to build the railroads. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel-driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." By the time he was 10, John Henry was hammering in rods and spikes and nails into the tracks. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel-driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." By the time he was an adult, John Henry was the greatest steel driver in the land, with the hammer that rang like silver and shone like gold. John Henry could hammer for hours without missing a beat. When asked how he did it, John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel-driving man, and I stick to my plan. With a hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." Well, the next summer was the hottest on record, and as the temperatures went up, steel drivers went down. But not John Henry. He did the work of 4 steel drivers, hammering all night long. Well, one day, a salesman came to the work site and announced, "Ladies and gentlemen, step on up, for I have invented a machine that can drill faster than 12 steel drivers." The crowd gasped. John Henry's friend stepped up to the salesman and said, "Impossible! This is my friend John Henry, and he is the greatest steel driver in the land." "I don't believe you," said the salesman, looking over at John Henry. "But why don't we have a race? My machine against your John Henry." All eyes turned to John Henry. He stood there thinking, and he looked over at the machine. John Henry saw a future with machines working instead of steel drivers. He couldn't let that happen. John Henry picked up his hammer, looked over at the salesman, and gave a nod. The crowd cheered and began to get ready for the race. "John Henry," said his friend, "you're crazy. How can you win?" But John Henry simply said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stick to my plan. With the hammer that's true, I do the best I can do." Well, the next morning was the hottest of the summer, and as John Henry lined up next to the machine, sweat poured down his face. "Good luck, John Henry," said the salesman. John Henry gave a nod, and then bang! The race was on! As the salesman switched on his machine, John Henry kissed the smooth blade of his hammer. Well, at first the machine drove the steel twice as fast as John Henry, but then John Henry picked up a second hammer as he tunneled through the mountain. As the crowd lost sight of the machine and John Henry, the salesman said, "That is one mighty steel driver, but he'll weaken when he reaches the hardest rock." "Not John Henry," shouted his friend. "Just listen to that steel ring." Well, inside the dark tunnel, John Henry hammered faster and faster until he caught up to the machine. As clouds of dust billowed from the mouth of the tunnel, John Henry's hammer sounded like 10,000. Well, just then, the machine sputtered, cluttered, clanged, and banged, and broke down. John Henry had won, but John Henry couldn't stop. His hammers kept going faster and faster and faster until he appeared on the other side of the mountain. The crowd cheered and lifted John Henry up on their shoulders. The salesman shook John Henry's hand and said, "Congratulations, you beat my machine." "How did you do it?" Well, John Henry just smiled and said, "I'm a steel driving man, and I stuck to my plan. With the hammer that's true, I did the best I could do." Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe below to enjoy more splat, boom, bang storytelling fun. And remember, be kind, be bold, be you.